Did you know there are car engines that are built to rack up to 1,000,000 miles or more like nothing? We're diving into the 20 most reliable car engines that last forever. These engines are practically unstoppable when stand into the test of time and durability. You won't believe what engine number 1 could do. Let's start with engine number 20, which is Buick 3800 V6. Kicking off our countdown is America's cockroach, the Buick 3800 V6. This engine survived everything from oil embargoes to corporate restructuring, powering Buicks, Pontiacs, and Oldsmobiles for decades. With a cast iron block tougher than a $2 steak and pushrod simplicity that mechanics love, these V6s regularly cruise past 300,000 miles while barely breaking a sweat. Even the supercharged versions maintain ridiculous reliability, proving that forced induction doesn't have to mean forced repair bills. Sure, it's about as high-tech as a rotary telephone, but when the zombie apocalypse comes, the survivors will be driving vehicles powered by the Buick 3800, ready to travel east. Let's see what German engineering has to offer. Number 19 engine, Mercedes-Benz M104 Inline-6. The M104 is what happens when German engineers decide to build an engine with the reliability of a hammer. This silky smooth inline-six powered everything from the humble 320e to the mighty SL320 throughout the 90s, delivering a perfect balance of performance and longevity. With 7 main bearings supporting a forged crankshaft and a timing chain. Designed to outlast civilizations, these engines regularly surpass 300,000 miles with proper maintenance. The head gasket is practically welded in place. Mercedes may have later complicated their engines with enough electronics to launch a space shuttle, but the M104 remains a beacon of mechanical simplicity and bulletproof design. Speaking of simplicity, let's check out another American legend. Number 18 engine, Ford 4.9L 300 cubic inch inline-six. Before trucks became leather-lined luxury machines, they were workhorses powered by this blue-collar hero, the Ford 300 cubic inch straight six. This mechanical mule-powered F-Series trucks from 1965 to 1996, which is basically forever in automotive years. With torque that feels like it's powered by gravity itself and a design simpler than a hammer, these engines routinely cruise past 300,000 miles with just basic maintenance. There's a reason farmers, construction workers, and anyone who needed something that just wouldn't quit chose this engine. But if classic American muscle isn't your style, perhaps some modern reliability will get your motor running. Number 17 engine, Toyota 1ZZ FE. Toyota 1ZZ FE is like that reliable friend who always shows up on time. Never flashy, never dramatic, just dependably present. Powering Corollas, Celicas, and Matrix models throughout the early 2000s. This 1.8-litre four-cylinder defined everyday reliability. With an aluminum block, variable valve timing, and Toyota's obsessive quality control, these engines regularly hit 300,000 miles with just oil changes and basic maintenance. Early models had some oil consumption issues, but Toyota quickly sorted those out. It might not be the most exciting engine on our list, but excitement and reliability don't always go hand in hand. Just ask anyone who's owned an Italian sports car. Now, for something with a bit more grunt from the land of the rising sun. Number 16 engine, Nissan VG33. The Nissan VG33E is the unsung hero of the Japanese SUV world, powering Pathfinders, Xterras, and Frontiers through the late 90s and early 2000s. This 3.3-litre V6 combined surprising power with tank-like reliability. With a cast-iron block, thoughtfully engineered cooling system, and a timing belt that doesn't cause valve carnage when it breaks, these engines commonly surpass 250,000 miles with just routine maintenance. It's the mechanical equivalent of a Timex watch. Takes a licking and keeps on ticking. The only downside? Its thirst for fuel would make a college freshman on spring break look moderate. Let's head back to America for our next immortal power plant. Engine number 15, GM LS series. V8's General Motors LS engines aren't just good, they're the benchmark against which all modern V8s are measured. First appearing in the late 90s Corvette, these engines have powered everything from Camaros to Silverados with legendary reliability. With an aluminum block in most versions, incredibly efficient design, and power potential that seems limitless, the LS family regularly surpasses 300,000 miles while still running like new. The aftermarket support is so vast, you could practically build an entire LS engine from aftermarket parts alone. It's America's modern small block, simple, powerful, and more reliable than your grandma's Sunday dinner schedule. But let's not forget the diesel masters from across the pond. Engine number 14. Mercedes-Benz OM 6117. Diesel-if engines were Olympic athletes, the Mercedes OM 6117 5-cylinder diesel would win gold in the endurance category. Powering everything from taxis in Africa to luxury sedans in Europe, this diesel warrior has been known to surpass 500,000 miles. That's like driving to the moon and back. Introduced in the 1970s, these engines were so overbuilt they became the standard for reliability. They're slow? Yes. They're noisy? Absolutely. But they're also virtually immortal, which explains why you still see 40-year-old Mercedes diesels puttering around with the confidence of vehicles half their age. Speaking of diesel dominance, let's cross the Atlantic for another compression ignition champion. Engine number 13. Cummins 5.9L. Inline-6 diesel. The Cummins B-Series isn't just an engine. It's the reason many Dodge Ram owners refuse to drive anything else. This torque monster started powering Rams in 1989, and it's been causing Ford and Chevy owners engine envy ever since. With a cast-iron everything and mechanical simplicity that makes maintenance a breeze, these diesels regularly crush the million-mile mark. The 12-valve versions are especially legendary. So simple that they'll probably still be running when cockroaches inherit the earth. But not all reliable engines are massive torque monsters. Sometimes great things come in smaller packages. Engine number 12. Honda D-Series. Before VTEC kicked in, Honda was building the humble D-Series, the little four-cylinder that could, powering Civics and Del Sols. Throughout the 90s, these engines proved that reliability doesn't have to be boring. With non-interference timing, incredible efficiency, and engineering tolerances tighter than your budget after buying a house, these little warriors regularly surpass 300,000 miles with minimal maintenance. The D16 especially deserves praise, delivering sports car feeling with economy car dependability. They might not have massive power, but they'll still be running when engines twice their size have long given up the ghost. Now let's talk about Toyota's gift to the truck world. Engine number 11, Toyota 22R22. If reliability were a religion, the Toyota 22R would be its patron saint. This four-cylinder workhorse powered Toyota trucks and 4Runners through the 1980s and early 90s, establishing Toyota's reputation for bulletproof reliability in America. With a timing chain built like it's preparing for the apocalypse and a simple design that any shade tree mechanic could work on, these engines regularly surpass 400,000 miles with just basic maintenance. There's a reason Toyota trucks from this era are still commanding ridiculous prices on the used market. The engines simply refuse to die. But Toyota isn't the only Japanese manufacturer with reliability secrets. Let's move on to another legend. Engine number 10. Honda K-Series. Honda's K-Series engines prove you don't need massive displacement to create a legend. These high-revving four cylinders blend reliability with performance in a way that makes other manufacturers weep with jealousy. Found in everything from Civics to CR-Vs, these engines will happily spin to 8,000 RPM day after day without complaint. The K24 variant especially deserves praise, delivering sports car thrills with economy car dependability. With proper maintenance, 300,000 miles is just breaking it in. Honda somehow cracked the code on building engines that are both exciting and durable. It's like finding out your accountant is secretly a rock star. Let's zoom back to America for our next mechanical marathon runner. Engine number 9, the Chrysler Slant-Six. The Chrysler Slant-Six is the Keith Richards of engines. It should have died decades ago but somehow keeps rocking. Produced from 1959 through 1987, this inline six earned the nickname the Leaning Tower of Power for its reliability, not just its tilted design. With cast iron everything and engineering simplicity that today's technicians would find refreshing, these engines frequently passed 300,000 miles without major issues. They weren't powerful, they weren't efficient, but they were virtually indestructible. And sometimes, that's all you need. Even today, you'll find these engines in service, proving that sometimes the old ways really were the best ways. Now, let's talk about one of Germany's finest contributions to reliability. Engine number 8. BMW M20. Inline 6. Before BMW's reputation got complicated with electronic gremlins, they created the M20, an inline 6, so reliable it's become legendary among enthusiasts. Powering the E33 series and other models throughout the 1980s and early 90s, this silky smooth six-cylinder is automotive engineering at its finest. With a simple design, thoughtful engineering, and a sound that makes car enthusiasts weak in the knees, properly maintained M20s can easily surpass 300,000 miles. It's the engine that helped establish BMW's reputation as the ultimate driving machine. And unlike some later BMW engines, it won't make your wallet cry. Speaking of legends, let's check out Nissan's gift to sports car enthusiasts. Engine 7. Nissan VQ35, VQ37. Nissan's VQ V6 engines have been collecting awards like they're going out of style since the 1990s. Powering everything from the 350Z to the Maxima, these smooth operators deliver a perfect blend of performance and reliability. With a lightweight aluminum block, impressive power output, and a distinctive exhaust note that sounds like mechanical jazz, the VQ series proves that reliable doesn't mean boring. With proper care, 250,000 plus miles is absolutely achievable, all while delivering grins with every throttle press. But if you want the ultimate in Japanese reliability combined with luxury, look no further than engine number 6, Toyota Lexus 1Use V8. When Toyota decided to take on the luxury market with Lexus, they created an engine so reliable it's almost suspicious. The 1UZ FE 4.0 lighter V8 powered the LS400 and other luxury models with such smoothness that you could balance a quarter on it while running. Engineered to absurd standards with 6-bolt main bearings and a forged crankshaft, these engines laugh at 300,000 miles. There are documented cases of these V8s exceeding 1,000 miles with just routine maintenance. It's basically the mechanical equivalent of immortality. Let's check out what the Motor City has to offer for our next contestant. Engine number 5, Chevrolet Small Block V8. If there's an engine that defines American automotive culture, it's the Chevy Small Block V8. First introduced in 1955, variations of this V8 have powered everything from Corvettes to pickups for over 60 years. With a design so good that hot rodders still seek them out and aftermarket support that's basically infinite, these V8s are the definition of reliable American muscle. The 350 cubic inch 5.7L variant especially deserves Hall of Fame status, delivering dependable power decade after decade. There's a reason you can still find these engines running in vehicles with odometers that have rolled over more times than a trained gymnast. Now let's rev up with an import that changed the game. Engine number 4, Toyota 2JZ GE. The Toyota 2JZ isn't just an engine, it's practically automotive royalty. Made famous by the Supra and immortalized by Fast and Furious, this inline-six masterpiece can handle ridiculous power levels that would turn lesser engines into expensive paperweights. Built with an iron block that's tougher than your high school math teacher, the 2JZ can easily hit 300,000 miles while yawning. The non-turbo GE version is practically bulletproof, while the twin-turbo GTE can be tuned to produce over 1,000 horsepower without breaking a sweat. It's so overbuilt that Toyota engineers must have been planning for an apocalypse. Speaking of overbuilt, let's look at a British icon that's conquered every terrain on Earth. Engine number 3, Rover V8, originally Buick. The Rover V8 is the Benjamin Button of engines. The older it gets, the better it seems to run. Originally designed by Buick in the early 1960s before being sold to Rover, this lightweight aluminum V8 has powered everything from luxury sedans to mountain-conquering off-roaders for over 5 decades. What makes this engine truly remarkable is its fascinating history. Rejected by GM for being too expensive to produce, the Brits swooped in and turned it into a legend. With its compact design, aluminum construction, revolutionary for its time, and a block so robust you could probably use it as a foundation for a small house, this V8 defied all expectations about British reliability. Found in everything from Range Rovers to TVRs, Morgan sports cars to Land Rover Defenders, this versatile powerplant developed a cult following for good reason. The 3.5L, 3.9L, and 4.6L variants all share the same bulletproof DNA, incredibly thick cylinder walls, a simple overhead valve design that any mechanic can work on, and cooling efficiency that puts modern engines to shame. While not the most powerful V8 by modern standards, early versions made just 135 horsepower, its torque delivery is smoother than a politician's promises, and its durability is practically otherworldly. These engines regularly sail past 250,000 miles with nothing more than regular oil changes and basic maintenance. There are documented cases of Defenders and Range Classics exceeding 400,000 miles on their original engines. Perhaps most impressively, this engine remained in production from 1967 until 2006, surviving multiple corporate owners, countless improved competitors, and the entire digital revolution. When an engine design lasts longer than most marriages, you know the engineers got something fundamentally right, ready to see what could possibly top the legendary British, by way of America, V8. Let's check out our runner-up. Engine number 2, Toyota 2ZFE V8. When Toyota engineers were tasked with building a V8 for their premium trucks and SUVs, they apparently decided to answer one question. How do we build an engine that will outlive civilization itself? The result was the 2UZ FE, a 4.7-litre masterpiece that makes other reliable engines seem fragile by comparison. Unlike most modern engines that prioritize weight savings with aluminum construction, Toyota went old school with a cast iron block paired with aluminum heads, combining the dimensional stability of iron with the heat dissipation of aluminum. It's like Toyota looked at the automotive industry's push toward lighter materials and said, "No thanks, we choose immortality." Instead, this engine debuted in 1998 in the Land Cruiser and later powered the Tundra, Sequoia, 4Runner and various Lexus SUVs until 2011. What makes it extraordinary isn't its power, modest by today's standards at around 235, 270 HP, or its technology, no direct injection or fancy variable valve systems here. It's the obsessive engineering underneath. The 2UZ features a timing belt rather than a chain, but unlike most interference engines where a broken belt means catastrophic valve damage, Toyota designed this as a non-interference engine. Even if the belt snaps, your valves and pistons won't throw an expensive party inside your cylinders. It's like wearing both a belt and suspenders, seemingly redundant until you realize the brilliance of the backup plan. The cooling system was over-designed to such an extent that these engines rarely experience head gasket issues, even in the harshest environments. From the Sahara Desert to Alaskan winters, the 2UZ keeps its cool when other engines would be sending distress signals. Perhaps most telling is that many 2UZ engines reach 300,000 miles before needing their first major service, beyond routine maintenance. There are documented cases of these V8s exceeding 1 million miles with just regular care. That's enough to circle the Earth 40 times. The resale value tells the whole story. 20-year-old Land Cruisers with this engine still command premium prices simply because buyers know they're only at half-time in their usable lifespan. It's the automotive equivalent of investing in gold. The value actually appreciates over time. But as impressive as the 2UZ is, there's one engine that stands even taller in the Reliability Hall of Fame. Engine number 1. Volvo RedBlock B230FT. The Volvo RedBlock engine isn't just reliable, it's what reliability engineers study when they want to feel inadequate. This Swedish masterpiece, especially the turbocharged B230FT variant found in 240s, 740s and 940s, is essentially immortal. With a block so overbuilt, it could probably survive a direct meteor strike and coolant passages designed by apparent geniuses. These engines regularly surpass 500,000 miles with basic maintenance. There are documented cases of these engines exceeding 1 million miles. That's like driving to the moon and back twice. The secret? Swedish pragmatism that prioritized durability over everything else. It's not the most powerful, it's not the most efficient, but nothing beats it for sheer longevity. In a world obsessed with planned obsolescence, the RedBlock stands as a monument to how things should be built. These 20 engines prove that with proper engineering and maintenance, your car's heart can keep beating for hundreds of thousands of miles. Which of these engines have you experienced? Or did we miss your favorite reliable engine? Drop a comment below and let me know. Kindly like and subscribe so you'll always be informed about automotive truths also. Did you know there are cars that seems luxurious from the outside, but then turns into your biggest financial regret? Click this video to know the worst cars imaginable that could cost you thousands in repair.